guys hear me? Yeah, I was fixing stuff. So anyway, we're having our conversation about QAnon. So I'm back. Let's see what happens. Take 2, scene 3, episode 4. Let me get this all ready here. Alrighty. I am ready, Freddy. So everybody can hear me. Everybody can hear. Let me put this over here. Anyway, if someone wants to call in, call me up. Let's see if we freeze up, Buttercup. See if we freeze up, Buttercup. It's a pain in the ass. Da, 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 da. I am back on. Yes, I am back on. Let's see what happens here. Pissed me right off, man. Yeah, working good now? Yeah, let's see what happens when I get a phone call. Oh, Lord. Anyway, call is open. If you want to call in and tell me why I should follow QAnon, call me back. Give me a ring. Next guy. I'll answer the call. Hopefully this is going to fix the issues that I was having. We're going to find out. So here we go. Please unblock me on your Twitter. Absolutely. Absolutely. So here we go. Got my Campbell soup can to my ear. That's good. Get your Campbell soup can. What are you hearing in it? Some soup? Riddle, 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 riddle. Ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba. Anyway, the first caller made a good point. The first caller did make a good point. So I give him that. The first caller made an excellent point today. So the first caller, it was a very good call. Very good call. He made a lot of sense. So what he was saying was that he used QAnon to start researching and start processing information. So he did find a use for it. Russian nuclear sub near California? Well, they should blow it up. My last black broadcast is right in my Periscope history. Boyfriend is asking who QAnon. Asking who is QAnon. I don't know. I had no idea. I stopped asking. So, next caller wants to call up. Tell me why. Why you follow QAnon and why it's so important to you. And this isn't a bash scope. It's absolutely to learn information. So that's what we're doing here. We're learning information. There'll be no attacking, no making fun of anybody. We're going to totally learn why somebody follows QAnon. Like the last caller. He was a good guy. He said he wanted to do research, and it taught him how to research things and follow things, and was able to hey Q, give Zero a call. I doubt Q would call me, but yeah. So anyway, there's that. So hey, okay, I just got a call, and I don't know why. I'm gonna call this person back. Here we go. We're calling this person back right now. Tell me if you guys freeze up, by the way.
Hello.
What's up, buddy? So anyway, you called earlier. So why do you follow QAnon, and what is it that makes you believe it's real?
Well, not to ask, not to answer a question. What's the question? What is your hindrance to it?
My hindrance to it is that me and a lot of my fellow friends think it's a disinformation campaign, and a lot of things have been wrong on it. So that was our problem with it, was like with Sessions and stuff. We thought that Sessions should have gone a lot earlier, and we didn't see a lot of conservatives pushing towards that. So I think that's how a big part of it started for us, was that we thought some of the information being passed along was up. You know what I'm saying?
You got to remember, this movement started 20 plus years ago. We knew our government was corrupt. We knew there was entities of it that were not in the best interest of America. So this is not new. QAnon is just, how would you say, where the people actually got power back to the places of power where they can make change. We knew this was wrong. People knew this was wrong back in the Gulf and Tonkin era. People knew this was wrong with 9/11. Q isn't really telling us anything we don't know. The only thing that separates Q from the movement from, like, let's say 20 years ago, is that we have someone on the inside that is actually the reason why the Q drops are so. You got to remember, there's a lot of people reading these boards, even the deep state reading the boards, and they're trying to counter the moves with what we're trying to do. So the part that when I listen to your, and this is tonight is the first night that I found you, because there's a lot of things going on in the world that obviously the movement is worldwide now. The world is watching. At what point does this become mathematically impossible? So I go back to my original question to you, and I apologize for answering your question with the question, what is your hindrance?
Well, what I just told you, the misinformation campaign, that was one of my biggest flaws that I had with the QAnon, is that some things have not been real while other things have been real. So is it more of a militia thing, or?
No. Okay, let's not bring terms like militia or, nothing like that. Tell me the part that you believe where the information was real.
Where the information is real, I can tell you the information that's real that's on there are like articles that they post, the facts based upon the articles that they post, and things like that. I do know that it's real, right? So I know those aspects of QAnon are real when it posts tangible facts and things like that. It's when I hear like, oh, the pain is coming, or someone. See, in earlier QAnon posts back on 4chan, because I hang out on 4chan. So in earlier posts when QAnon first came around, I had followed it. I'm not going to lie, I was following it. It kind of piqued my interest. But
October 28, 2017. We've been here longer before that, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, whatever you're saying here. So anyway, I was following it on 4chan when it first came around. And it had said that Podesta was being picked up, and Hillary was going to, flying through and getting picked up and whatnot. And that's when that didn't happen. I think that's when my critical thinking skills of, what is real and what isn't, what is true and what is not. And, I think you have to look at everything with critical thinking, right?
Correct.
So I guess, my thing is, I guess I don't have a problem with it. It's more of if it misguides us in any way. Do you understand what I'm saying there?
Yeah, okay. Here, let me just give you a little background. Okay, everybody knows my information is not secret. My name, my first name and my last name is absolutely who I am. I'm not afraid of that information to be out into the world. All right. I spent 12 years in the Air Force. All right. I worked overseas for the past 10 years in every environment that you can think of. My last job, I was working at the United States Embassy in Kabul. All right. I was there during the time when Trump won this, and I had already seen all these little things that were transpiring in front of me for like 2 years of what was happening in these places, these dens of evil. And, the thing about QAnon is you got to remember, again, I'll go back to it. There has to be some disinformation because the comms are corrupted. They know it. You know that? We have to make moves to counter what they see. They're reading the boards, they're reading the 8chan, they're reading the QAnon pubs, they're reading all that because they know the storm is upon them. You can't run from it. Here, I'm gonna give you something right now in the news today. All right, Trump today put in a tweet, the smoking, what was it, the smocking gun.
Right. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the Urban Dictionary term of what smocking means.
There's
two terms.
It's a sex.
Well, okay, there you go. You're on it on one. There's also another one when you go back to the ancient history of the English word of smocking. There's a person that wears a smocking device. She goes by the name of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. QAnon has dropped this several times. She's going to step down. So there's one smocking. Remember, there was 2 smockings in this tweet, correct?
Right.
Okay, the second smocking is Podesta. In the painting, in him and Valerie Jarrett, where they're at the Standard Hotel in one of these I don't know what these parties are. I have a kind of idea what these parties are because I happened to work at one point in my Air Force career with Curtis LeMay's daughter. So I saw a lot of things of what, you know, people in the elite status do. You know, and it's not.
Right.
It's not pure. It's not pure.
Now, I can agree with you on that because back during the Reagan administration, a lot of people don't know this, but they used to sneak in call boys into the White House. Did you know that? There was almost a big a corruption case dropped because of it.
Who was Hastert? Who was Hastert?
Yeah.
We know this. This has been in our face for years. Yet we've ignored it. We've ignored it. Look, I want to tell you this. I'm a Christian. I don't know who listens to your broadcast. Like I said, tonight was the first night. I'm a Christian, okay? But I do know there's certain parts where we remove God in this country and we've let a really evil entity into this world. There's going to come things out from, and it's not going to happen like years from now. We're talking like days, weeks, months. People are going to be exposed to the most evil things that they ever could imagine. It's going to bring them to their knees. And look, I'm a religious person, but I'm saying whatever your religion is, look, man, I'm half Navajo. Some of my family believe in trees. You know what I mean? So I'm very versed on the expansion of how people believe in their gods. And that's not for me to judge. But man, people are going to see some very terrifying things. And you know what? You're not even going to see all of it. I've seen it, and it's dark.
Now, can I ask you a question? Now, I agree with you on that aspect of things with the demoralization. I mean, we're talking about boys, young boys becoming girls, young girls becoming boys. Bathrooms. You see now the acceptance of pedophilia that's happening in some of these little, socialistic democratic outlets. So I can agree with you on that aspect as well.
Yeah, I'm glad we're finding a common ground. And so, segueing back to my initial point with the current news of today, what did Podesta put out today in Rolling Stone? Right,
the Pizzagate issue. I saw that.
Right, he's trying to get ahead of it. That's called projecting. Well, what they're doing to the populace. You got to remember. In my heart, I believe 80% of the populace is awake. And I know that because I can see it bleeding over to other continents. All right? In France, this is not about a gas tax. This is about people fighting globalism. They're on to Macron. They're on to him. They're on to the whole globalist movement. It's collapsing. When I tell you the world is going to change, the world will change. It's not a speculation. It's an absolute fact. Guarantee that. America will be restored to the great prosperous country it always has been, and Trump has done that. And the reason why they hate Trump is that you can't buy him. You can't buy him. Look, this man, we're all flawed as men and women in this world. We're not perfect. And we understand that we have flaws, but you can't say this man hasn't put himself or his country before himself. Like, where do you not see that? This man gave up one of the greatest lives that you could ever imagine, and he has a family. That's why they despise him, because the family. Why do you think they went after Kevin Hart? Because Kevin Hart's a family man. Now their narratives are all busted. Nobody knows how to work this narrative anymore. Look at The View today. Look at all the key words that were dropped on The View today. Where's Whoopi at? Where's Whoopi? You know why Whoopi's not around right now? Because I guarantee you Whoopi's got her marching orders because she's a pedophilia. She's a pedivore. So where's she been at? So in the past couple of days, we had Meghan McCain and Huntsman beating up the narrative and saying key words that QAnon had dropped, like scot-free. Come, man. It's just so in our face, and people, let me give you an example. I have a family member, all right, and she's dear to me. She's essentially my mom, and it crushes my heart every day because she just believes in this. She's so brainwashed from everything that she's seen in the past, not 8 years. We're not just attacking Obama. We're attacking, the Bushes, the Clintons. Don't not believe this narrative. It's completely true. And that's why they hate Trump, because he can bypass all the mainstream media. Even Fox is corrupted. He proved that a week ago. He can bypass all that and go straight to Twitter. Don't get it wrong. They will shut down his Twitter. We will go dark. And the only way he will be able to talk to us is through that National Emergency Alert System.
So, do you think that now? What do you think the end game is with Q? What do you think the total end? What is the end all be all of what's going to happen with the whole thing? What's your take on that?
My take on that is that America, we and I don't say this in a light way. We are the beacon of hope, and America, it has to start in America. So America will restore our true. We're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic.
Exactly.
That Constitution tells us everything that we are entitled to, not by our government, but by the God that we believe in. Those are our inalienable rights. So what's going to happen is Trump's going to declare martial law here in probably, I wouldn't say, the next 2 weeks. All right? Trump's going to declare martial law. That's why he just replaced the Joint Chiefs of Staff, because the one, I don't remember his name, Dunford was way corrupt. I know this firsthand. All right? So now the martial law, we have everything in order right now. The Supreme Court is good. All right? We're going to get probably 2 more Supreme Court justices appointed by Trump. The Supreme Court is good. The Senate is absolutely the most crucial part. The House is irrelevant. And when the House of Cards falls, we're going to get the House back too, because when we lock up not just Democrats, but Republicans as well, we will get the House back. And we have the military, and we have the NSA, and we have the courts that are slowly getting built. That's why there's Adam Schiff. That's why he's shut down. But I'm not going to vote for anything because I want to make sure Mueller is protected. Mueller is absolutely corrupted. Uranium One has exposed him completely. It's just a matter of time. And it's not a matter of time for years like this investigation has taken. It's a matter of weeks in a month.
Now, okay, so I heard what you said about the courts and stuff. Now, how do you feel that today Kavanaugh voted to defend Planned Parenthood? You do know he did that today, right?
Yeah, I'm aware of that, and that's absolutely all right. You know why? Because we're the power to come to fund Planned Parenthood doesn't come from, you got to remember, judges they don't make legislation. They just rule on the contents of the legislation. The power to defund Planned Parenthood comes from Congress. So that was absolutely the right ruling. I'm not angry about that at all.
Okay, I just wanted your take on that with Kavanaugh, because there's a lot of people that were angry at the decision. So I'm hearing different things about it. So that's why I was going to ask.
Well, you got to remember right now, there's so much going on. And look, I live in Southern California. I live close to, Camp Pendleton. And I know who the Marsoc boys are. I know the boys down in Coronado. And in the movement that is happening right now with military aircraft, as far as like those two entities are concerned, remember I'm talking about Marines, and then, the SEALs, and the Navy obviously falls, under Trump's authority to just execute that without Congress's approval. That's almost like his own personal military. They're on the move, brother.
Well, they have a certain number of days. He can declare, what do they call it? When he declares, he can go to war, but he has so many days to report it. He does have to report it eventually. Yeah. What is it? Is it 30 days? Is it 30 days?
Yeah, so today is December 10th. December 13th will be a big day. December 28th will be a big day. And January, what is it? 18th, or what are the first day where the freshman congressmen come in and take the oath, be before those days. And that's when the House of Cards falls.
So what will happen with Congress when the House of Cards falls?
We'll just have special elections. Right now, if you in the stages was set for voter ID, people are not going to reject voter ID anymore, because what transpired down in Broward County, what transpired down in Georgia, I mean, even in California, when you look at the Orange County district where, the whole thing went blue, and, before that, I think there was 2 seats that were blue and everything else is red. You can't tell me that because I live here. I know what these communities are about. Most of these communities in those areas, if you look just south of the Orange County line, there's Camp Pendleton. These are Marines. There used to be a base up there where, Marines used to live up there. So there's so much military in these areas. There's so much patriots. The blue doesn't make sense. And remember, Trump ordered that we're going to look into election fraud because of the Russian alleged interference with our elections. And he put the DHS on that. And there's going to be a report on that. And it's going to show complete voter fraud in every state, to include Minnesota. I don't believe the citizens of Minnesota would ever elect the delegates that they did.
Okay, and now, so the voter fraud thing, I think there's voter fraud too. I agree with you. Now, how do you feel about the guy in North Carolina who's a Republican that was committing voter fraud? Do you think he should be ousted as well?
I believe anybody that violates the rule of law should be ousted. Because we have to set a precedent. We have to set a precedent. There's been so much, like I said, it's not about Obama. We're talking about Bush, Clinton. This goes back a long way, and it's so easy to dismiss this movement as something so ridiculous because you could tie it into like the 9/11 movement. You could tie it into the people that didn't believe in Sandy Hook. Still waiting to figure out what happened in Vegas. Nobody's ever told us that, but.
I believe Vegas was all messed up. I was one of the first ones that actually was diving into the Vegas scene. Me and my buddy, you might know him, Thomas Paine. You know Thomas Paine? Good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Well, we dove into that
on Twitter, man. I enjoy that.
He's a good guy. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. So anyway, we were diving into it, and it's ISIS hotbed where the old guy from Vegas was visiting. He actually, his girlfriend, they took many trips there. He actually went hunting in the jungle. And
Talaweed.
What's that?
His name is Talaweed. I know who it is.
Yeah, so anyway, he went into the jungle hunting with her family, but it's a hotbed for ISIS, so how did this guy, who's an American, walk around the jungle over down there and not get picked up?
Well, here's the big, like my dad always told me, I'm pointing at the sky and you're only looking at the tip of my finger, not what I'm pointing at. Here's the big thing about this. There's been several assassination attempts on Trump this year. This was an assassination attempt on Trump. This was something that went very wrong. When you look at it, right now, you're hearing the narrative right now in the news, the mainstream media about, what's his name, Khashoggi? I can't even say his name properly.
Khashoggi?
Yeah. Remember this. He's not an American citizen. He's absolutely Muslim Brotherhood. He was absolutely one of the corrupted people that were part of Talaweed. When MBS locked all those sheiks up and everything, he was shaking them down for the money that they had stolen from the people of the House of Saud is not a good house by no means.
Is it Saudi Arabia?
But MBS, he's the one that righted this shit. So that's why they're trying to make this dissension between Trump and MBS right now. Like Trump doesn't believe his own his intelligence assets because they're trying to cause dissension between them. MBS is with us. So going back to Vegas, Vegas was, people are not going to believe this and it's going to blow their mind. When the story's finally told, it was an ISIS hit. It was absolutely an ISIS hit funded by the Saudis, but not the Saudis right now, not the MBS group, but the old House of Saud, the Talaweed people that he locked up in the hotels.
Okay, so let me ask you this, though. So what are your thoughts on Iran and Turkey? Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy?
They're both terrible.
Both terrible. Good. I'm glad we agree on something.
Yeah. Erosion is secretly Muslim Brotherhood. The thing about Erosion that he hates about Syria and like that whole atmosphere down there is that he got. Am I allowed to swear on your show?
What's that, bud?
Can I swear on your show?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Go right the fuck ahead.
Okay. So he got his dick in a twist. He got his dick in a twist because he got caught running fuel with his son down there on the border during this time. That's how they were making their money. The reason why he ratted out the Khashoggi thing is because he knows that he's absolutely corrupt. Projection again.
Now, what do you think of Afghanistan?
Afghanistan is, man, I've spent 4 years of my life in Afghanistan, in every corner of that country. Afghanistan is a quagmire. You know, all great empires go to Afghanistan and they fail. You know, the last great empire to do it was Russia, and the most current empire that will do will be us. I don't like to use the word empire because I never want to believe that we're trying to make nation states, not in like the Obama administration, but, you know, we can't, the reason why we can't pull out of Afghanistan right now is because, you know, these are facts, people. You can go and search these facts. These are not just my crazy brain making these things up. If you look at what the stats were the opium production in the world in pre-invasion in Afghanistan, I think I'm not even know if I remember this right. Let's just say I think like 3% of the world's opium production came out of Afghanistan. After the invasion, 90% of the world's opium production comes out of Afghanistan. How is that possible? We control all the airspace. How is that possible?
Who do you think's funding?
We're running.
Do you think it's CIA?
Absolutely, it's the CIA. It's the Black Hats.
So
that's how they funded everything. They fund. You look back. You don't even have to say Afghanistan. Go back to Vietnam.
Well, yeah,
you don't want
exactly.
To look past,
yeah. I know what you're saying. I've done a lot of research on Vietnam. They used to put they used to put cocaine in the soldiers' caskets.
That's an absolutely true story. Then segue forward and then go to Mena, Arkansas. What were the Clintons doing?
Well, there's been rumors that the Clintons are tied to the mafia down there. What is it called? You probably know
the Dixie Mafia.
The Dixie Mafia, and he was in bed with them at one point. Something with the real estate. A lot of people don't know that.
If people don't, or people want to search out things, the things that I just quoted about Afghanistan, you can go into the UN reports for that information. That's fact. That's not you know, nothing conspiratorial. If you want to look into something deeper, look into Mena, Arkansas, where the Clintons were at that time. Bill was the governor. Hillary was working at I think the Rose Law Firm, and all the drugs that were coming in from the Iran-Contra thing. Like, the thing that people don't realize is there's so much stuff that has been in their face. They've just ignored it. They don't think that our government is capable of these things. What did it turn out that Noriega was? A CIA asset, right?
Absolutely.
He was down there running the country. A country of what? Was running drugs.
Now that you said that, listen to this.
And I don't like talking about these things because I people drive around my house and they do weird things, but I'm all right with it, man.
So El Chapo, right? So El Chapo a week ago, he says, I have been working for the United States government. He said this right in court, and then they gagged him. Did you know that? Did you know he actually said that? I couldn't believe it. Now
we
they wouldn't let him speak.
Drugs. Look at Freeway Ricky Ross.
Yeah.
How many? Look, like I said, this is the first time I found you tonight. But look at how many truth bombs we just revealed. Like people, Freeway Ricky Ross running cocaine up in the ghettos of South Central. You know, Mena, Arkansas, trade down there with Clinton and Hillary Rodham Clinton. You know, going back to Vietnam with the triangle out there in Laos. Like, when do people believe that their government at some point has left their needs? Why do you think Trump and Melania always, every time they refer to that White House, they say it's the people's house? They want you to know, again, this is the people's house. Anybody ever looked into what Obama wore the day that he left the White House? That double outfit with all kinds of, the one that was all bedazzled out with horns.
I never saw it.
You know what Melania did the day after he left? She had that house cleansed because the devil left the White House.
She brought in a priest?
Yeah. Look it up. It's true stuff. I can send you the picture right now of where Obama left the White House in some bedazzled horn outfit.
Yeah.
With that dude wearing it.
Post it on Twitter and show me. So I'm gonna let you off here, bud. It was a good conversation. So what I took from your confirmation is that there's definitely information out there. It's valuable information, and that we should be following QAnon for the information. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. When General Flynn told you there's an army of digital information warriors out there, you are the digital information warriors.
Okay. I want to thank you for calling, man. It was a good conversation. I do these shows all the time, and I'm hoping to do this every Thursday, where we talk about hot topics such as this. So.
Great topic. I enjoy talking with you, brother.
All right. You take care, and thanks for your service.
God bless.
You too. Anyway, so what we're learning here from the QAnon followers is that their main reason for following is that they learn information. So they learn this information and they take the information in and they learn some things. So it's a good thing. Okay, so they're learning. So let's look at it from that aspect. They're taking in analytical data. So, I think maybe this is what draws people into it, right? So they see all this information and they're able to go to one spot and pull it out. So, I can see why they love this stuff, right? Because they read and they get things, and he made a lot of valid points, and he had a lot of the stuff right with his research, on different, things that have gone on, CIA, the Vegas stuff, certain cover-ups where they don't tell you the full truth, So, I think there is a want for that information. So, I'm just trying to, see why people love it, and I think that's all we can do. The dates on the inside, yeah, okay, not buying it. Cream and cry researching to prove it. Well, I'm gonna have to look some of it up, but I mean, some of it he had right, some of it he had right, and I'm not gonna, you can't fault people for wanting to do their own thing, You can do research yourself. I mean, by all means, you can always research yourself. You don't need anyone to tell you to research. I mean, all you need is a brain and to be able to, find what you're looking for. Any analytical brain can go out there and find what they're looking for. Some people, they don't have what some of us do have. Maybe they're not analytical. Maybe they're not able to get the information quick enough. And maybe that's what draws them near, is because they get it all in one spot, right? So they go and get it all from this one spot. You can't blame them for wanting to do that. The rest of it, I don't know, but I get what the attraction is to get to the information. You understand what I'm saying there? I do get that. So this is my first in the series. I'm going to get off here now, but I heard from 2 QAnon folks tonight. I want to keep doing this because I think it's good, because I think it's going to help, bring, some kind of understanding between people that don't believe it and people that do believe in it, and see if we can, kind of treat each other with a little more respect in the Twitter sphere, because I think it's good, because, I mean, these people believe in it, right? These people believe in it, and I think, we gotta try to, be nice to them. I mean, you don't have to believe in something, and if you don't believe in it, just don't retweet it, or just don't bother with it. You can always look the other way. So I think it's good to hear different people's, reactions to why they believe in Q. And that's why I said tonight's not for Q bashing. It's to understand what Q is about, why people follow it, and how come they're drawn to it. That's what it's about, and that's why I did the scope. It's not the typical, oh my god, fucking Q. I'm trying to, I don't know, he's a young man, he was in the Air Force at one point, he served in Kabul. This is how much of an analytical brain, I know he's listening. So he served in Kabul, he was in Afghanistan and Kabul in the Air Force for 4 years. So he did serve, and like I said at the end of the call, I respect you for your service, thank you for your service. So you got people from all walks of life that are following QAnon. So, you know, we got to respect each other, you know. I mean, the guy served his country. I mean, we can't be treating people like, you know, shit, you know, just because they believe in something. We have to, you know, find a common ground and say, hey, why is it that you believe? Because he's a Republican. So, you know, we gotta find common ground. And I think this is good. And this series that I'm going to do is going to be good for everybody. Served in Kabul, you know what I'm talking about. Kabul, Afghanistan, Kabul, however you pronounce it. If I look Islamic, Kabul. You know what I'm saying. You can say all his stuff and think Q is bunk. His talk about Clinton crimes is irrespective of Q. Well, I think, you know, a lot of people know a lot of research, you know. I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying you don't respect him. I was just saying that's why that's one of the reasons I respect him. I mean, he served the country. He's a veteran. I'm just saying from my perspective. I don't talk for anybody. I only talk for myself. I only talk for myself here. I can't speak for anybody. I ain't nobody's caretaker. That's why I tell all my users always get your information from everywhere. Don't take it just from me. Go elsewhere. I've always promoted that. That's the one thing you've heard on my scope time and time again. Go everywhere to get your information. Don't take it from one spot. Always question everything. Always use your critical thinking skills with everything, from me to, you know, everybody. You always should go everywhere. You know, always go everywhere. You know, I think you know, even, you know, these Q followers would realize that. You know, I mean, you have to get all of your information everywhere, not just one source, not just one outlet, not from just one person. You must always go everywhere to get your information. If you don't, you're missing out on a lot. Someone else calling. Let's hear from you. Yeah, if another QAnon follower wants to call and give me your perspective of QAnon and why you follow it, give me a ring. I've heard from two great patriots tonight. Absolutely. You should always respect other people's rights to voice their opinion. Absolutely. Free speech, man. Free speech, man. You should always be able to think for yourself. Just like there should be no political correctness in this world. Political correctness is the worst. I hate that shit. I hate political correctness. It is the worst thing. Oh, awful. Awful. You should be able to speak your mind at all times in this country. I said this time and time again, man. That's half the reason why Twitter's falling apart. Half the reason why Twitter is falling apart. But I'm gonna get off here. I'm kind of tired. We've had a sick boy in the house, and he's been awful sick with the flu. So we've been taking care of him. So he's not been feeling too good. Do Qs understand it? Well, I don't think it does. I think they just do their own thing. I'm gonna let up on them. I think it's time. People need to, you know, everybody needs to breathe. We're all conservatives. I love all the conservatives out there. We all vote the same. We all vote the same. Anyway, I'm out of here. You guys have a beautiful night. I will see you tomorrow.